All right, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is getting long, y'all. This is getting long. I've only been on an hour and a half, but I'm gonna try to go faster. All right, so the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was gonna do a review on this series, but I don't really know what to say. Like, so okay, so I think the thing that I really wanted to touch on was like Sam is given the shield, you know, in Endgame, right? And it's like, and what did he say? It feels like it's someone else's. And they set up this idea with Isaiah Bradley, you know, Black Cap in Vietnam is what the story is now. Is isn't that right? He served in Vietnam, and there were other super soldiers, other people who were experimenting on with the super soldier serum. They got captured, and he went and freed them, and it was like, yo man, we can't let knowledge of this guy just go out there. We got to figure out why the serum worked on him. So he was punished for freeing these his fellow soldiers, and then he was locked away and experimented on, and it was actually Hydra. It was experiment on him, I believe. Maybe it was the U.S. government, but you know, we know that Hydra had infiltrated SHIELD and the government and everything at that point, and that's how the power broker eventually ends up getting her hands on the serum. So it's like we're dealing with this is it's the weapons program, you know, 'cause Cap was, you know, wasn't Cap weapon one, but it's like this is the fallout. I don't want to say from Steve's decisions, because Steve didn't know anything about this. Not Steve as Captain America, old man Cap, I don't know, like, because he's still around there somewhere, you know, watching SHIELD be infiltrated by Hydra. There's a big question there that, you know, how did Steve know what was coming and just sit back and allow it to happen without altering? Because it's like, well, if I do anything, I'm going to alter time. But or I won't say alter time, potentially create an alternate reality is what I should say. Even though the Infinity Gems weren't involved, it's still, you know, if you change something, it's not going to change the past. It'll change the future by creating an alternate timeline. Is that, I don't know, see, this time travel in MCU is weird, because it's like, well, it only creates an alternate timeline if an Infinity Gem is involved. But I'm like, well, if Steve does something and Hydra never falls, then what about Bucky and, you know, the Tesseract and this and that, and in the present time, or well, in the past? So I don't know, but it's still, you know, I had a lot of questions for Steve though. Like, Steve is an old man, and, you know, and this stuff is happening, and I don't know, but you know, this is really a hero's journey, not just for Sam, but for Bucky too, because Bucky is a man out of his place, you know, a man of a different time, and he doesn't adapt the same way that Steve did, because Steve was frozen on ice, and then when he thaws out, it's like, well, I'm still Steve Rogers. I'm Captain America. Yeah, I'm displaced in a sense too. Everyone I know was pretty much dead. Well, when he first got thawed out, everyone he knew was dead. He didn't know Bucky was still around, right? But it's like, but I'm Captain America, and it's like, yep, you're Cap. You still have that same identity. Bucky's different because it's like, well, I've been on ice too, but not all the time, right? They thaw me out, they send me on a mission, but it's not me, it's the Winter Soldier, it's this other persona. And then it's like, well, he goes to Wakanda, he has his mind repaired, healed, and now it's like, well, I have full knowledge and awareness of the things that I did, but it's like that wasn't me, but it was me, right? So he's got to deal with it. He's got to come to grips with that. And, you know, and it's like, well, with Steve not around, Steve trusted you, Sam, with the shield to take up his legacy. And if he's wrong about you, then maybe he was wrong about me too, that I can change, that I can be, you know, the good man, James Bucky Barnes, that hung out with him, and they were from Brooklyn, right? So it's kind of a redemption story for him. And for Sam, it's like that's the real hero's journey, you know. The literally an old man on the side of the road hands you the shield and was like, this is the boon, right? Your journey is to be me, to take up my legacy and to move it forward. And it's like, well, here's this other guy, and he was literally given the boon. He was given the serum that made Steve Rogers, Captain America, a black man. And what did they do? He did exactly what Steve did. He freed guys, soldiers who were captured, trapped under enemy lines without permission, broke the rules. What did they do with Steve? They made him a hero. They gave him the Howling Commandos and made him a hero. But with this other guy, this black guy, he did the exact same thing. What did they do? They turned him into a guinea pig. Test tube, baby. Right? They turned him into a guinea pig. Why did this work? Well, we're going to start removing organs and harvesting organs, you know, to get his blood and his DNA. And we're going to figure out if we can't figure out what made the serum work in him, then we're just going to take his blood and figure out how to replicate. You know, we're going to extract see how his DNA was altered and figure out how to just give that to somebody and make them, you know, make it work for them too, right? No Vita rays, nothing. So it's like, you know, if you try to be Captain, you can have everything the Cap had, but if you try to be Cap as a black man, they're going to put you in, they're going to throw your ass in jail. You know, so there's no way that you can be Cap, Sam. You can't be him. And then you look at these other, then you've got, this is the anointed one, war hero, decorated, right? In who they named Captain America, U.S. agent. And it's like, he can't live up to the hype. He can't handle it, the pressure of being Cap, right? Steve, and he's like, if I just had that one thing that made Steve special, right? Because he's getting his butt kicked, and he's like, the Wakandans beat the brakes off him. It's like, she doesn't even have a super soldier serum. What's my excuse now? Bro, I just suck. I suck at life. He could not handle the pressure. And he's like, if I have that one thing that makes me different, because I've worked so hard to get here. I have worked. Steve didn't work. Yeah, he worked. He proved he was a hero and he had heart. But then they gave him the serum. He didn't have to work anymore, right? He just showed he had the heart. I got the heart. I jumped on live grenades. I've done everything that I've tried to do, everything that I could do within my own means and capabilities. I just need that one thing. And he gives himself the super soldier serum. It was stolen from the power broker. And it's like, you got heart, but you don't have that heart that Steve had, right? Who did we find out Steve was in the end? He was worthy, right? Steve wasn't just some white boy with pretty eyes and pretty hair that got the super soldier serum. He had heart, and he was worthy. Even as a skinny ass kid in Brooklyn, he was worthy to wield the powers of Thor. He was always that dude. That's what made him different, right? Then you got these other kids, they're freedom fighters in a sense, and they were right. They were right to feel the way they felt and to try to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, right? The world was much different during the snap, right? And they wanted to just kind of set it back that way, set things back that way for these displaced people. But then it's like it corrupted them, right? And that's a big thing. It's like everybody wants to be Captain America, but everybody ain't got what Captain America had. And then the one dude who doesn't have what Captain America had. The super soldier serum. That's crazy, isn't it? He was the only person who wasn't a super soldier, but he had that heart. Now, I don't know if he's worthy to pick up Thor's hammer. I mean, you know, I'm not a comic book guy, but I know Sam was smashing the mighty Thor. And I'm talking about, you know, the lady, you know, Jane. So, you know, that's something I'm really interested in seeing and finding out. Like, you got Black Captain America, Sam Wilson. You got the mighty Thor coming. We gonna see Papa Doc smash Padme. Papa Doc gonna smash Padme. Is that something we gonna see?